This video is powered by BetUS Sportsbook.
Yeah, freaky athletic. Like, when I watch his tape, it's just like, hold your breath. Like, he's putting balls on the money, right? He is seeing coverage. You can tell when they're attacking too deep. You can tell when they're attacking single high. But then when he brings the ball down and goes, like, there's some juice there. Like, yeah. He'll run by you. He'll make you miss. Like, you kind of see everything on it. It's hard to almost compare him to anybody else.
Jayden Daniels is one of the key figures in the outstanding 2024 draft class of quarterbacks. His dual threat talents were thrilling to watch in 2023 as he powered one of college football's most explosive offenses and won the Heisman Trophy along the way. As he prepares for his first season as a pro, join me as I reveal the 10 things you didn't know about Jayden Daniels. 1. Jayden Daniels has a crazy routine. First, we have to talk about his crazy routine. It takes a lot of skill to get where Jayden Daniels is today, but it also takes a lot of effort. One of his defining characteristics is his work ethic, which propelled him to the forefront of the college game and has already impressed some of his veteran colleagues in Washington. Jayden's daily routine starts at 5 a.m. when he heads into the team facility for an early morning film session. This was a routine that began in college and has carried over into the NFL, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Washington Commanders veterans Nick Allegretti and Jonathan Allen both expressed their admiration for the rookie, stating that they used to take pride in being the first to the facility, but have now fallen into second place behind Daniels. This impressive mindset is not just an explanation as to how he has become such a good player, but also a reflection on his suitability as a leader. The first in, first out attitude is exactly the kind of thing that will help him win over the locker room and set him and his team up for success. 2. Jayden underwent special biomechanics training. After making his transfer to LSU, Jayden paired up with Taylor Kelly, who is the biomechanics instructor for 3DBQ. Kelly played a pivotal role in refining Daniels' craft, honing his throwing mechanics and footwork, and speeding up his release. Having not really been considered much more than a day 3 pick in the draft at the time, this specialized training helped turn Jayden into a Heisman Trophy winner and a top 2 selection in the draft.
Are you now, day before the draft, still of the mindset that Jayden Daniels is worthy of the first overall pick?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing's changed. Jayden is just someone that, as we move through this process, when you watch how repeatable his mechanics are, how consistent his feet are, how consistent his upper body is, how consistent he is with throwing the football and putting it where he needs to put it, change arm angles when he needs to, throw the football short, intermediate, deep, run when he needs to.
Kelly's knowledge of the science of biomechanics provided Jayden with a better understanding of the physical principles behind effective quarterback play. The pair analyzed his movements, working on producing a more consistent and more powerful throwing motion, in particular paying attention to his arm and body alignment. As Jayden's career at LSU continued and his play improved, the pair increased their time together and started looking at his footwork as well. Under Kelly's guidance, Jayden refined his foot placement and improved his pocket maneuverability, whilst also working on his off-platform throws. The results were spectacular. Commanders fans, remember to thank Taylor Kelly when Daniels turns around your franchise. Before we get to number 3, let's talk about some sports betting. My go-to for that is BetUS. Once you're in, you'll easily find all the pregame markets, parlays, and prop bets that you need. You'll even get 10% back on your net losses twice a year. So let's win some money. If I want to bet on some division winners, I just click on the football tab, scroll down to the NFL divisions tab, then find the bet I like. I am going to go for Aaron Rodgers' Jets to win the AFC East. So click on the number and specify your wager. $50 sounds good. Then click place my bets, click confirm, and there you go. Pretty easy, right? Enjoy a 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with the code YouTube150. 3. Jayden's favorite food is spaghetti and meatballs. Along with a good routine, every good athlete needs to have a good diet. And for Daniels, that typically starts with a spinach omelet and hash browns, which is a protein-rich breakfast to prepare him for a busy day of workouts. It also helps his muscles to repair and grow. For dinner, Jayden's favorite dish is the classic spaghetti and meatballs, which are also packed full of protein and carbohydrates. Not only does this contribute to his physical preparation for the season, but this particular dish holds a lot of sentimental value for Daniels, as it was his mom's favorite to cook when he was a kid. If he is treating himself to a cheat day though, Popeye's chicken is the go-to, and he also has a serious soft spot for honey buns. 4. Jayden attributes a lot of success to his mentor, Sherman Wilson. Jayden Daniels attributes much of his success at LSU to the mentorship of Sherman Wilson. As LSU's recruiting specialist, Sherman Wilson played a multifaceted role in Jayden's development, not just as a coach, but also as a friend. As soon as Daniels made the move to LSU, Wilson recognized the potential in his new recruit and made sure to help him maximize it. Daniels has stated that Wilson was more than just a mentor, he was a brother. Their bond was forged through their competitiveness and drive to improve, challenging each other to be the first to the training facility every day. Wilson would spend up to 16 hours a day with Jayden at times, focusing on his personal development and decision-making whilst also helping him handle the pressure of being in the public eye. His help even extended to game days, with Daniels reflecting on a time when Wilson helped him calm down and find his rhythm in a freezing temperatures game against Arkansas. The pair had a special bond, and Daniels made sure to thank him in his Heisman Trophy acceptance speech, a victory that they both would have celebrated. 5. Daniels was one of the most successful dual-threat quarterbacks in FBS history. The species of pocket passers are on the decline, eclipsed by a more exciting brand of dual-threat quarterbacking, which is the ultimate test for a defense. In a world where dual-threat quarterbacks are on the rise, it serves Daniels very well that he was one of the best in FBS history. Most notably, he's the only quarterback in FBS history to surpass both 12,000 passing yards and 3,000 rushing yards, adding up to a remarkable 16,056 total yards. You only have to look at his outrageous performance against Florida to see how supremely talented he is in each aspect of the game. The Gators simply did not have an answer as they watched Daniels gallop his way to 234 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, whilst also collecting another 372 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. In total, that 606 yards of total offense was an SEC record. With him at the helm, LSU led the nation in yards with 537 per game, and in scoring with 43.3 points per game. He turned them into an offensive juggernaut, and Washington will be hoping that he can do the same thing for them. Will Jayden Daniels become the next great NFL dual-threat quarterback? Let me know in the comments. 6. He was one of the best deep ball passers in college football. Just because he is such a good runner doesn't mean he isn't lethal with his arm. Not only was he arguably the best rushing quarterback in the nation, but he was also arguably the best deep passer. Yes, he was massively helped out by having 2 first-round wide receivers at his disposal, but he still made sure to drop it in the basket whenever asked. PFF rewarded him with a 99.2 grade for passes of at least 20 yards, which was more than any other quarterback in the college game. He also tied Michael Penix in third with 27 big-time throws, which refers to passes with excellent ball location and timing, generally thrown further down the field and or into a tighter window. What makes this stat even more impressive is that he only contributed 1 turnover-worthy play, emphasizing his effectiveness at challenging deep whilst also looking after the ball.
Almost any other year, he's the number 1 pick in the draft. Almost any other one. There's just a handful that he might not have been. But, this year he got stuck behind Caleb Williams. But nonetheless, he ain't that far off. He's a damn special player.
If you want even more stats, then let's look at his deep touchdowns. Daniels' 22 were 7 more than the 15 from Caleb Williams and 8 more than Michael Penix Jr. The fact of the matter is, he is a stellar downfield passer, which is excellent news for the likes of Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. 7. He is really hard to sack. Sticking with the theme of his on-field play, Jayden Daniels is a difficult man to sack. This may not come as a surprise given how much we have already spoken about his effectiveness as a rusher. Despite being blitzed on almost 40% of his dropbacks, Daniels managed to reduce his sack total from 43 in 2022 to just 22 in 2023. He also managed to maintain his composure, ranking first among all quarterbacks when facing the blitz according to PFF. In such scenarios, Daniels completed 74.4% of his passes, throwing 20 touchdowns and no interceptions. Nothing is a given in the NFL, and it remains to be seen how well Daniels adjusts to the pro game. But these kinds of attributes certainly put him in good stead. The game will undoubtedly move fast, and opposing defenses will want to pile on the pressure, but Daniels can take confidence in the fact that he has what he needs to handle it. 8. Team bonding and supporting teammates is very important to Jayden. To be an effective quarterback in the NFL, you also need to be a good leader, and Daniels has certainly proven that. During the LSU Pro Day, there were countless scouts in attendance to take note of his physical ability, but one attendee in particular spotted something else. Evan Laser, a staff writer for the New England Patriots, observed how engaged Daniels was, even when not participating. He gave himself a front row seat to cheer on his teammates as they executed their athletic drills, even charging down the field to celebrate with Malik Neighbors after he smashed his 40-yard dash. More notably though, eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that Daniels had ditched his regular jersey number to instead wear the number 3. That number belonged to his teammate Greg Brooks, who Daniels wanted to represent as he had recently been diagnosed with cancer. This heartfelt gesture shows that even on one of the biggest days of his career, he still has a desire to support his teammates wherever possible. 9. Daniels makes an effort to give back to the community. In addition to setting his team up for success on the field, Daniels has made an effort to set his local community up for success off it. After securing a healthy NIL deal at LSU, Daniels partnered up with Raising Cane's founder Todd Graves to donate 100 bikes and helmets to the Boys and Girls Club and Big Buddy Baton Rouge. In an interview with WAFB Channel 9 in Baton Rouge, Daniels says that when growing up, he always wanted to be a role model. He also used his platform to raise funds for his friend Greg Brooks, who was diagnosed with cancer, and gifted shoes to LSU staff to thank them for their support over his 2 years there. There is no doubt about it, Jayden Daniels cares about the people around him, and that will make him a very popular man in the NFL. 10. He always makes time for reflection. The final thing to know about Jayden Daniels is that he spends a lot of time reflecting on his journey. We spoke a lot about his routine at the beginning of this video, and a big part of it for Jayden comes right at the end of the day. His process of self-reflection began in college, spending time at the end of every day to assess what he had achieved and how it aligned with his goals and what new goals he wanted to set. By taking a step back, he's able to acknowledge his strengths and weaknesses and make a plan to get the most out of every day. Life as a pro is going to add more stress and attention to his life, so this process of reflection will help ensure that he stays on track and remains level-headed. That wraps up our list of things to know about Jayden Daniels. In many ways, his approach to life is the perfect blueprint for anyone hoping to become a professional athlete. Yes, it helps to have rare physical attributes, but everything from his early morning film study to late night self-reflection sessions ensures that the mental side of being a quarterback is well catered to as well. It certainly seems as if the Commanders picked a good one. But what do you think the future holds for him? And let me know which player you want to learn about next in the comments. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Once again, if you'd like to sign up for BetUS, use promo code YouTube150.